Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Reaper 2, one of the most action-packed games on Roblox. If you're a fan of intense battles, crazy powers, and want to dominate your enemies, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to break down the best Shikai in the game. So whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned player looking to upgrade your strategy, I've got you covered. Now, Reaper 2 has a ton of different abilities, and let me tell you, Shikai is where the fun begins. Each one is unique, with powers that can completely change how you play the game. But let's be real, not all Shikai are created equal. That's why we're here today, to give you the ultimate tier list, regularly updated with the latest game changes. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right into the best Shikai you need to be using in Reaper 2 right now. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking Shikai in Reaper 2. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The Shikai in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Wabisuki and Zangetsu. Alright, let's talk about the C tier Shikai in Roblox Reaper 2. If you're rolling with these, I'm gonna be real with you, they need to go as soon as you can upgrade. Sure, some of you might enjoy the challenge, but trust me, the game offers so many better options. The sooner you swap these out for something stronger, the better your chances of owning the battlefield. First up, we've got Wabisuki. Now, I know some of you might have a soft spot for this one because it's super easy to get early on, but don't let that fool you. This Shikai is not it. The first move, Depress, is kind of weird but can be fun to mess around with. It makes your enemy's weapon heavier, so they're just stumbling around like they're in slow motion. And sure, it bypasses blocks, but honestly, it's not going to save you in a tough fight. The next move, Mitigate, is also unblockable, so you knock the enemy into the air, hit him again, and they slam into the ground. Sounds cool, but again, it's C tier for a reason. Lastly, you've got Dominate, which lets you grab an enemy and smack them with your weight. It's satisfying, but it's not enough to carry you. And let's not forget Zangetsu, which also makes an appearance in this tier. It's not as flashy as some of the other Shikai you'll come across, but hey, it still gives you an edge against players without one. But here's the thing. Why settle for an edge when you can absolutely crush it with higher tier Shikai, right? At the end of the day, if you're running C tier Shikai, the best advice is to use it as a stepping stone. Roblox Reaper 2 has plenty of options, so don't get too attached. Once you unlock something stronger, you'll see a huge difference in your gameplay. Stay sharp and keep upgrading. The Shikai in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Sode no Shirayuki and Sakanade. Alright, let's dive into the B tier Shikai in Reaper 2, and we've got two that really stand out here, Sode no Shirayuki and Sakanade. These are your go-to Shikai in the middle stages of the game when you're still building up strength. But, heads up, later on, they start to lose their punch a bit. The good news, you can grab most of these in just a few days of playtime. So, let's break them down. First up is Sode no Shirayuki, and this one's all about freezing your enemies. Imagine locking down 2/3 of the battlefield in ice. Yep, 2 of its 3 skills have freeze effects. You've got Prance, which is such a cool ability, pun intended. Your character slams down unblockable ice pillars that freeze enemies and deal solid damage. It's a game changer when you're surrounded or need to control the crowd. Then there's Frolic, which is your bread and butter sword attack, but with a freezing twist. Simple, effective, and it gets the job done. But wait, the real star of the show? That's Frisk, Sode no Shirayuki's ultimate move. This thing lets your character charge up their sword with icy energy and just boom, unleash it in one massive unblockable hit. We're talking multiple enemies frozen and smashed at the same time. It feels epic every single time you pull it off, especially in those tight spots when you need to swing momentum back in your favor. So, if you're running around in Reaper 2 and looking for something that gives you crowd control and a bit of style, Sode no Shirayuki is where it's at. Just remember, it will carry you through the mid-game. But don't get too comfy because, later on, you might need to swap it out for something stronger. Keep freezing those enemies while you can. The Shikai in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Hyorin Maru, Death Dealing, Shinso, Benehaime, and Katen Kyokotsu. Alright, let's dive into some of the A tier Shikai you'll want to keep your eye on in Reaper 2. These Shikai might not be as over the top as the S tier ones, but trust me, they pack a punch, and if you know how to use them, you can dominate. Plus, let's be real, they're way easier to get your hands on, which makes them perfect if you're just getting started in the game. First up, we've got Hyorin Maru. This icy beast is not to be underestimated. Hyoromaru's abilities give you a lot of the crowd control, freezing enemies in their tracks, and that's always handy in a fight, especially when you're outnumbered. It might not have the raw damage output of some S-tier Shikai, but trust me, locking your enemies in place while you set up a combo is so satisfying. Now, let's talk about Shinso. If you're a fan of flashy moves and long-range attacks, this one's for you. Shinso starts out as this tiny Tanto blade, which is almost laughable at first, but don't be fooled. Its skill tree is wild, turning that little blade into something much more deadly. One of the coolest moves is Exalted Blade, where Shinso extends and slices at a longer range, catching your opponents off guard. And if you're feeling aggressive, Blade Rush lets you dash in for some rapid hits though. Heads up, they're blockable. But hey, if you time it right, you can really put the pressure on. Finally, there's Benihime and Kaiten Kyokotsu, which are perfect for players who love a mix of offense and defense. They may not top the S tier, but these Shikai have versatility, letting you adapt to different situations. So, if you're looking for Shikai that give you options during a fight without being too difficult to obtain, A tier is where it's at. The Shikai in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Nozarashi, Minazuki, Kyoka Suigetsu, Ryujin Jaka, Senbonzakura, and Arroganti. So let's dive right into the S-tier Shikai in Reaper 2. These are the absolute best of the best when it comes to dominating the game. I'm talking about power, damage, and just straight up wrecking everyone in your path. Now, keep in mind, these Shikai aren't easy to get. Even the most seasoned players have a tough time collecting them, but if you do manage to snag one, you're basically set for life. Well, game life at least. First up is Nozarashi, and man, this thing is a beast. If you like smashing through blocks and dealing massive damage, Nozarashi is the Shikai for you. It's got 3 moves: Rampage, Demolish, and Lacerate. Now Rampage, that's your go-to for breaking past someone's defenses. It's like saying, nope, you can't block me, and then just steamrolling right through them. But it gets even better with Demolish. Honestly, it's probably the most powerful, unblockable attack in the entire game. You just land this hit and your opponent is in a world of pain. Finally, Lacerate comes in with a series of hits that, yep, you guessed it, can't be blocked. It's just Nozarashi flexing its strength over and over again. Next on the list, we've got Minazuki. Now, Minazuki might not be as flashy as Nozarashi, but it's all about sustainability. It's perfect for players who want to balance offense and defense because it comes with some awesome healing abilities. While you're out there dealing damage, you're also keeping yourself alive longer, which makes you super hard to take down in a 1v1 situation. You know what they say, if you can't die, you can't lose, right? Then there's Kyoka Suigetsu, which is basically the Shikai for people who love to mess with their opponent's minds. It's got this illusion-based ability that throws your enemies off, making it hard for them to predict what you're gonna do next. Honestly, it's a lot of fun if you enjoy outsmarting people and turning the tide of battle without brute force. The mind games with this one, absolutely next level. And of course, we can't forget Ryujin Yaka, Senbonzakura, and Arrogante. Each has its own flair, whether you're into fire, petals that slice through opponents, or pure unadulterated destruction. All of these Shikai are at the top for a reason. Each one brings something completely unique to the table that can turn a fight in your favor if used right. So if you manage to get your hands on any of these, congratulations, you're playing with some of the most powerful tools in Reaper 2. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.